to all of our loyal listeners, all 5 of you. We are in Villisca, Iowa, at the infamous Axe Murder House. We have another podcast member rejoining us tonight.
We're
That's
joined
Mr.
by the whole team.
And Tina.
Yeah.
And
Yay.
she waved at a microphone.
And the camera over here.
So
Oh yeah, there's a camera. See, I'm here.
Hey.
so this has been a bucket list investigation for years. And we've talked about this trip for years. And we finally mustered up the resources to make it happen.
The ignorance to make it happen.
Yeah. So we drove out on
The powers that be didn't want it to.
Oh man.
yeah, we had some
Should we
issues.
discuss any of that?
Well, let me break it down for the listeners real quick. We had a small
Break it down now.
we had a small hurdle at the van rental company. I'll leave them unnamed
At the moment.
at the moment. So then what was supposed to be a 16-hour drive straight through, 1,000 miles basically, and kind of turned into more like almost 18.
We left about 8:30.
Yeah. 8:30 coming out of Baytown and headed straight north. You know, we ended up in Oklahoma. We got pulled over. Mr. J-Lo was behind the wheel. Could have been any of us, but unfortunately it was him, and so he took one for the team because the van company failed to put a tag on our vehicle.
But told us we had paperwork that was made it legal, and that cop disagreed.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. So that's something we have to contend with, but this week we want to hopefully entertain you guys. We had some small things happen here. We've been here now investigating since about 4 o'clock. We got a little bit of an earlier start than we anticipated, but
Well, most of us, we didn't get really any sleep on the ride up here, so we're all pretty tired.
yeah, we're on fumes.
And at the moment, it is what? It's almost 2 o'clock?
It's
right
2
about
o'clock.
2 o'clock. Oh,
And we
nice.
are actually coming to you live from the 2nd floor of the Villisca Murder House. We are
in the children's
in the
room.
children's front bedroom.
That still has the original floor.
Yeah, and so, you know, the blood-stained floors, they've been painted over, but these are the original floors. And the house was empty, they mocked
in
it.
between, look.
Huh?
Oh, see if you can see any, like,
Oh.
blood stains or something
Yeah,
like
in
that.
between the wood, you actually can see some.
Huh.
So,
Wow.
what we're going to do is talk a little bit about Villisca. And if you were avid paranormal fans, you kind of should already know. I think, you know, it's kind of one of those places that you should know about. I mean, it's been.
Well, we need to correct a few things. I know. Well, first of all, our last podcast,
Sorry.
we discussed that our next one, we said it multiple times, was going to be on the paranormal TV shows. Well, that's coming, but we decided this one should take the lead because of where we are. But in that podcast, we were discussing the fact that what did we watch? We watched the Dead Files.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure on there, and maybe and other locations, they discussed that the woman, the Mrs. Moore, got the sharp end of the axe, like it was personal, but it wasn't. It was the dude. It was JB Moore. Dude, I keep hearing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're gonna hear, and we're videotaping this as well. We're recording this live.
Like 8 different cameras,
we're-
I think, going on.
We're probably gonna be interrupted as the show goes on, so
Hopefully.
this could be interesting for the listener.
There hasn't been a whole lot of, activity, at least not for us. How was it for when y'all were in here?
Well, we had some stuff happen. We had we started upstairs, and then we kind of moved downstairs, and we ended up doing like probably 35 to 40 minutes down there, and then we started. Tina heard something come from the stairwell, sound like steps. So as I got up and moved towards that area, then we heard this loud beeping noise, which I think you guys said was, what was that? Ended up being one of the
this portable
Power inverter.
the inverter.
It was
Yeah.
dying. Now for us, when you know after y'all came out, we came in, and we went through the whole house, all the different rooms, doing EVP sessions, asking questions, and we were in this very room we're in now. I'm sitting on the bed, I think, right about where you are, Huck, and I said, I think I said something like, are there any kids here, or I think I said, are the kids here? Something like that. And an EVP came back that said, Daddy. And
Wow.
it was clear. It's freaking amazing. So, yeah, I don't know. I might have to go through them, with headphones and all that kind of good stuff. But that for me, the Panasonic RR-QR160, that's provided me a good EVP at Hill House, and then that one here so far. So man, I gotta say it's starting to sway to being my go-to.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it sounds like the EVPs. Would you call them Shaggy, John? Either one. Would you call them residual, or would you call them intelligent? Because if that was a daddy, which I did hear it,
Yeah.
and first time I heard it, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
And then once I went back and listened to it again, me and Tina both heard it say daddy. So
Yeah.
it's almost like it was answering you, like
Right.
saying, "Daddy's that you?" Like daddy. That's kind of the way I took
That's
it.
the way. Yeah, that's the way we took it. So like it was more intelligent than residual.
Just playing back what had happened that day. You
Mhm.
can only imagine what was going through these children's minds.
Yeah, an axe.
But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Well, I can't say too soon because that's been 100 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. It's like over 100 years now.
But I would like to add, and we didn't do our normal tonight, which we normally start the show off with
A paralysis.
our analysis.
The trip up here and all the crap we went through, that could be the paralysis.
Yeah. Right. So
it was a short one this time, which makes up for the 30-minute one we did last time.
exactly. Yeah, because that ended up being one of our longest podcasts, and so well, let's just talk a little bit about.
Well, I mean, we've done the full deal right now. We've got cameras rolling in the parents' room. We got a setup in the attic, which is currently off at the moment. We're going to turn it back on when we go to do our next thing after the podcast. We've got a setup in here, and we have a setup downstairs in what's known as the blue room, which is actually the room where the two neighbor girls were killed. For us, so it looks like then we caught children-related EVPs in the children's rooms. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, what if the response that you got wasn't intelligent, but it was residual, as the boy that it sounded like woke up, and then as the man came, he was like, "Daddy, like, is that you?"
Yeah.
Man, it could have been. It could have been. I mean, it's just, for me, it's just interesting that it happened, right as I asked, are there any kids here, or are the kids here? And then you get an EVP that says daddy. So, I mean, I don't know. To me, it sounds like it was intelligent because of that, but really nothing else at this point. At the moment of this recording, nothing else, that I can think of significantly has happened.
But we haven't went through all our.
Oh yeah, we've got tons of footage to go through, and we're only about halfway through the night, so the night's still young. In fact, that's what we're going to do after the podcast. We're going to break off and start doing solo sessions where we each come in here and take a turn completely by ourselves in the house. So maybe something will be less intimidating when we're by ourselves.
Yeah, and that also came by way of suggestion because we got to finally meet the one and only Johnny Hauser, which was pretty damn awesome. I gotta say, the guy is practically a celebrity in the paranormal community. You know, he's right there neck and neck with Nick Roth and them, and you know the people from Paranormal Lockdown, and so. But Johnny's been on other stuff as well. You know, I've seen him on stuff that was cryptozoology related, Bigfoot related, stuff like that. So he's got his name all over the paranormal community in terms of, you know, from aliens to Bigfoot to you name it. The guy's
picking his brains a little bit. He seemed to be, you know, on the same wavelength when it comes to, you know, not convinced that ghosts are what people think they are.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We don't know what we're dealing with. That's what we've been saying since day one. We believe we're interacting with something, the paranormal exists, but what it is and what we're actually interacting with, well, that's still debatable.
Sure, it's yet to be seen. Like, I don't think, you know, you might meet people who say they know. You know, the Travis the Travis Waltons, the people who've interacted and actually been, you know, abducted, you know, they're said they were abducted, anyway, allegedly abducted.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of his ideas and theories, you know, they're pretty plausible, and they can hold water against some of the best from the scientific community as well. But you know, he gave us a little rundown of the place, and he mentioned that his best activity had came from the second floor. So
yeah, he did say that.
If we hear something that we think's paranormal, we'll let you guys know.
Oh yeah, but I think for the remainder of the podcast, we're all just gonna take a nap right here in this room, and
there you go.
See if something wakes us up.
If someone walks in here with an axe,
I'm gonna lay this down so I can sit down.
let me have the gun. I'm shooting. I'm not going down like that.
We don't have a gun, people. Don't listen to her. So that's what was funny. Johnny was like talking about how he was packing to eat.
Yeah.
He's like, oh wait, y'all know all about that. You're from Texas.
Yeah.
True.
So
Dang. So
Villisca's a lot smaller than what I think people are
Oh yeah.
led to believe.
yeah, you understand that it's a small old farmhouse, but you don't understand how small.
Yep. And the barn was placed on the property in the early 1900s. It wasn't originally built here.
I thought he said 1800s. That barn dates back to.
Well, it was built. Was it when it was dropped here? Was it this? Maybe I misunderstood him. So let's just say that thing is equally as old as this place, but
Yeah,
it wasn't built here. It was brought on the property, and it's got some creep factor. There's an upstairs area to it. Looks like somebody's turned it into a small viewing area.
Yeah.
So yeah. So let's get to the heart of the matter.
We've pretty much decided that it was more than one killer. It had to be.
And just because of how it was all how it all unfolded. Like
Yeah,
I just
you
don't
got
think
two
this
kids
house.
downstairs.
What?
Yep.
And then you have kids upstairs with the parents. That's just too much for one person.
Yeah, it's if it was one person coming out of this attic, going straight, because the attic opens up right damn near. Well, it opens up in the parents' bedroom.
Mhm.
And this individual walks right over to the dad and damn near splits his face in half.
Right.
Okay, that's gonna make some noise. And then he whacks the mom right next to him.
Yeah. So
Now-
what Johnny says, he dropped that sharp blade right on his upper palate under his nose. So that's gonna make a lot of noise. Like I said, his head's gonna pop like a pumpkin. So
Yep.
now that's happened. The mom's awake. The kids and everyone know the neighbors like family. There's no way they shouldn't have gotten out and gotten to the neighbor's house. I don't know how that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Unless there was somebody blocking the doors to keep
Yeah.
it
And
from
keep
getting
in
out.
mind, it was summer. Windows were up. There's no
Windows were-
AC.
Yeah. 1912.
12, yep.
So, that's what was my take on it. What kept those neighbor girls, from running out the house,
Yeah.
screaming bloody murder?
They
They
know
had
this
to be right
neighborhood.
downstairs.
They know this neighborhood better than anyone. They probably could have hidden somewhere and gotten away.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody blocked them and kept them from
Now they
leaving.
were really young, so there is that. you know, the two neighbor girls, weren't they like
8 and 10.
or was it 8 and 11? I think.
Was it
I
8
don't
and
know.
11?
So that's not. I mean, that's old enough to have been able to run out of the
Yes.
house. You know.
No, they were downstairs.
They had to have heard the god awful screaming that was coming from this kid's room. While one by one they were getting whacked. So either it was a psychological thing, and they all just froze. They hid under their covers, you know, like they were trying to hide from the boogeyman, just making it easier for him. But more than likely, there was at least 2 people, and one of them held them down while the other one whacked them. And then they just moved around till they were done, and then they got out.
You know, this has been on our bucket list for a long time, and we finally all came together and decided to make it happen. So it's a twofer. So today we are at Villisca for those who are just chiming in, and tomorrow we'll be in Malvern, Iowa, at Malvern Manor.